compassion, awareness, wisdom. So here we are, 2023. We're beginning a new year. I think it was just the Chinese New Year a day or two ago. So it's a new year on different levels for different people. I hope you're doing well. So this is the first class of the year. I want to just give a little bit of an overview. There's some new people here, or people that haven't been here in a while. So I'll be holding these classes over the winter and the spring. Usually take a break. I do take a break in the summer, and then we start up again sometime in the fall. Really, I'm going to try to make these classes one build off the other, so there's a direction to them, there's a continuum to them. So the more you can come to, the better in terms of, hopefully, in terms of your understanding and in terms of your practice. My purpose is obviously to help guide you, to help teach meditation, but more so to teach the Dharma. The Dharma is it's a Sanskrit word. It's used in Asia for thousands of years, and it can mean different things. But the Dharma is the teaching of the underlying truth of what our experience is. It's the underlying truth of our mind, of our experience of the world around us. So a Dharma can be a specific truth or a specific things, a way that things are, but it also is translated as the underlying reality, the underlying nature of our minds, or what this experience is. So I spent, as most of you know, many years in Asia, and that was my pursuit. After a few, actually after one retreat, I had a glimpse of something within myself, and I knew there was another way to be. And from that time forward, that's been a central theme in my life. And I'm trying to present these ideas and tools to realize these ideas to you. So I hope it works. I hope you can follow along. I hope I make sense. The most important thing on your part is to pay attention, to what's being said, but more importantly is to pay attention to yourself. The Buddha Dharma is a teaching of the way things are. It's not a religion. It's not something that's based on faith. It's a set of tools to work with to deepen our experience of ourselves. So that's what we're on about here. And there's an underlying aspect of our awareness that we can touch upon. We can touch upon with the tools that were taught by the Buddha, the tools that I'm going to try to present. There's an underlying aspect of awareness that we at least get glimpses of. And in those glimpses, it starts to change our relationship with our experience and with ourselves. So we start to discover deeper, a deeper aspect of our experience. And where we discover that is not through a book or not through a teacher, but we discover it through applying principles to our own experience. So I'm not here to tell you about the way things are. I'm here to try to open up a door for you so you can walk in that room and have a glimpse, at least a glimpse of that. Ultimately, you could say this path is about freedom, and it's freedom from our conditioning. It's freedom from the ideas that we have of ourselves that imprison us. We are the architects of our experience. We are the architects of our lives, of our happiness and of our suffering. Even though at times it doesn't seem like that, at times we feel like we're run over by events and experiences. The path of Dharma, the path of meditation, allows us to look at our experience and understand it in a deeper way. And in the understanding of that, one of the things that we understand is that we have choices. We have choices. And we begin to see what choices lead us, what things lead us towards a more wholesome experience, a happier experience, and what choices lead us to more suffering. So that's an idea, but what I want to teach, I want to lead you to the experience of that idea, of actually seeing that. So there's an inherent freedom in the mind. There's an inherent wisdom that's in the mind. There's an inherent intelligence that's in the mind. And these teachings are a way to discover those. We see how we learn to see how we cause ourselves so much distress. We learn to see how we create things with our mind that are not actually true. We begin to see how we hold on to things that we don't need to hold on to. We begin to see the depth of habitual patterns that leave us imprisoned, that leave us stuck. So that freedom I'm talking about is that aspect of mind that is not stuck, that is able to be with whatever experience is taking place. Whatever experience is taking place, and to have a different type of relationship with it. The normal way of the mind is when we have a problem, or when we're happy, when we're sad, whatever the mental experience is, we see it as a result of conditions on the outside. The weather's good, the weather's bad, my car broke down, my car worked, the food was good, the food was bad, they were nice to me, they weren't nice to me. But the path of Dharma is learning to turn that focus internally. Is learning to become the object. Instead of observing, watching, pointing towards the outside, in this practice, we look at what's happening inside. Because that's where the work is. That's where the freedom is. So all of these meditations, all of these practices are developing the ability to turn our attention inward and look at our experience. And look at what we're doing with the outer experiences that present themselves to us. So that's it. But think about it, like really think about that. Developing the ability to watch and not identify. But what we're doing with that is we're developing that aspect of mind that is very calm and very, very quiet and is able to observe the experience, not grab onto it. And in that observation, we begin to, well, first of all, in the act of observing, it can create space between the observer and the experience. It's called the witness or the watcher. We begin to become the one who watches, the one who knows the experience. It's like you watch a thought. And if you are sitting on the seat of the watcher, of the witness, you realize that you're not the thought. It's a very specific example, but it's exactly what all this is about. You see the thought come and you see the thought go. But while the thought is there, the normal relationship that we have with the thought is to identify with it. But we're changing that relationship, or we're working with it. And we're learning to watch it come and we're learning to watch it go. When feelings come up, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, happy, sad, we're learning to watch them. And not identify with them. So in that space of being the watcher, there's a spaciousness and there's a calmness that naturally arises. And we begin to be able to identify with that. There's all this experience that's coming and going all the time. And we're just getting run around in circles. But when we connect with the seat of the watcher, it's a very different experience. We start to understand the impermanence of the experience, and we start to understand the non-self of the experience, and that it's not us. How can it be us if it comes and goes? And we start to see very clearly the suffering we cause ourselves by grabbing on, by holding on to the experience. One way we grab onto the experience is we resist it. I don't want this to be happening. That's grabbing onto the experience. I love this. That's grabbing onto the experience. It's the two ends of it. So loving the experience, resisting the experience, they both cause suffering. Is there another way to be? The experiences are going to come and go. Experiences are going to come and go. You walk out that door, you don't know what's coming around. You don't know what's coming down. Could be good, could be bad, could be neutral. So we develop this strength. We develop this strength to be able to watch the experience and understand that it's impermanent, it's not self. And by grabbing onto it, by identifying with it, we cause ourselves all types of suffering. We develop this strength. And it's not an act of, excuse me, it's not an act of forcing it. It's an act of watching. We're not trying to be mental, meditative weightlifters here. We're not pushing the experience. We're not pushing this stuff. We're not pushing, trying to push it away or not grab onto it. We're simply observing. We're simply observing. And in that ability to quiet down enough to observe, and in the observing, in the watching, there's an intelligence, there's a wisdom that comes through. We don't need to be that smart. We don't need to figure it all out. And if you think you can, good luck. What we need to do is we need to be quiet. We need to find that stillness, that calmness, and watch. We're not forcing ourselves to be somebody we're not. We're not forcing ourselves to be something that we're not. We're simply developing the art of observation. The art of observation. Otherwise known as AOO. I just made that up. I wouldn't try to remember that. Don't write that down. It's ow, or whatever that is. But that's what we're doing, the art of observation. Years ago, when I was in India and I was a young man searching, I was in a Himalayan hill station called Dalhousie, and I arrived there, and it was kind of a place that people would go to practice. You could rent a house or rent a room in a house, and it was just it's up in the mountains, incredible view of Pakistan, the Himalayas in Pakistan and Kashmir and that. And anyway, there was a Indian Swami there, and India has all types of swamis. They have a swami for every season. And there was this Indian Swami, and he had a bunch of Western students with him. And he was called the lying Swami, but not lying, like not telling the truth. He laid down. So he would come to Dalhousie and he laid on a couch. He laid on a couch like for 3 months. And I'm like, I want to be him. That's a sweet gig. So so I went to meet him. And honestly, he didn't make much sense to me. But it was one of those things in India, you see all types of things that don't necessarily make sense. But I sometimes think back to him, and in a way, he was an expression of an interesting aspect of Dharma, of practice, because we can try so hard, we can be so earnest, and we do need commitment and we do need effort, but we also need to remember that which we are moving towards is our innate, the underlying truth of who we are. So how can it go away? How can it be something that we have to build up? How can it be something that we have to hold on to? When we start to get glimpses of that, we realize that it's something that we relax into. Like the lying Swami, he's lying on the couch. So I just tell the story because in learning the art of observing, part of that is learning to let go of really trying so hard. We're simply observing. We're simply observing. Now it's a fine line, because we do have to make an effort not to get caught. And in the beginning, or even say if you're an experienced meditator, in the first 5 or 10 minutes of your meditation, there's more mental activity, and you do need to be discerning. You do need to be on point. But at some point, we're really just relaxing with the art of observation. We're not adding anything onto it. We're simply being with the observer. We're being with that aspect of our awareness that is just aware of what's taking place. We're seeing when we're distracted. We're seeing when we're distracted. We're seeing when we're distracted. And when we catch ourselves, then we're the observer, and the observer is there. So this is the overview, if you will. This is the overview. This is what we're working with. I use meditation on the breath, the Anapanasati Sutta, and in Buddhist terms, and the 4 foundations of mindfulness, which are all just techniques to help us break down our experience a little bit so we can observe it, so we can identify it. So when there's a feeling there, we note feeling. When there's a thought there, we note thought. But to establish that observer, we develop calm. And we develop calm through meditation on the breath. And then once we've developed calm through meditation on the breath, then we use ideas like the 4 foundations of mindfulness to break down our experience, to look at our experience. But at some point, it doesn't matter what the experience is. When there's enough calm, we simply watch the experience arise and fall away. And when we start to spend time in that place, then there's a natural intelligence, a natural understanding that starts to take place. And it's not in the book, it's not something a teacher can show you, but it's your inherent wisdom. It's your inherent freedom that is being uncovered. So think about that. That's why we do this work. And if we don't, well, that's fine, but then what are we doing? We're getting pushed around by our conditioning all the time. We're getting pushed around by our reaction to external events. Maybe you aren't, but most people are. And once again, it's not, we're not forcing this. We're not forcing this. Through the power of calm, abiding, and observation, we begin to discover a deeper sense of ourselves. And when we discover that deeper sense of ourselves, we discover the inherent calmness, the inherent insight that is part of an awareness that's non-clinging, that's open. Okay, that's my little spiel for the night. So now we'll do a group meditation. So we're working with the breath. Most of us have been working with the breath for a while now. So the breath is always the anchor of the experience. And at some point, we can change our attention just watching what's coming up in the mind. But if you're still being pulled away by thought, then we come back to the breath. And we begin by watching the breath just as it moves in and out of the body, just watching the breath in a natural way.